Today. Well, the earth just gonna burn you up if you go on the inside of it. It's gonna be all over. Anyway, I'm gonna get you into information where what they're doing next inside of the earth in a mysterious journey underground. We'll tell you what's going on here, and we'll also talk about that they're talking about there's a fifth layer in it. But I thought you was gonna get burnt up if you hit the core. But another thing is I wanted to say is the fact that we now know that they are finding energy in the earth that could even give power to the earth. And I'll tell you how that could happen here in a few. Scientists say they detected a mysterious layer at the center of our home planet. The discovery could unearth more about Earth's history. And it goes in to say one of geology's basic principles is that the Earth is made up of 4 layers: the crust mantle, the outer core, the inner core. But this may be squashed in light of a new study that suggests Earth actually has a distinct 5th layer. But that's been under our feet all along, they say. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take you into, they're talking about this planet, right? And it was a goddess. It was this goddess that basically name is Thea. And so the ancient one, they're saying right now, a continent-sized remnants of an alien world may be buried deep within the Earth. Debris from explosive crash of the planet Thea into an infant Earth also widely believed to have formed the moon. Now, this is theory, so don't just take it like, oh, well, this is legit. But it is something in the Earth, and there's a lot going on in the Earth that they haven't been telling us about. And the more we get into this situation, the more we figure out what's going to be happening in the next couple of years. So why are they so secretive about this? Now I'll talk about Thea. Like I said, it's an ancient goddess, a Greek one. And that part is interesting, all of the stuff that they say that's what's in the earth. But as they say it, they're basically saying this is a whole nother remnant to our planet that we don't even know about. So I was putting this out because it's really strange how all this is happening. And I did a video, I said already, on the inner earth. What I put at the end of this, what I made it documentary film-like form. What's going on, everybody? Somebody says, for the fake alien invasion, you think that's what it's for? It says a Mars-sized planet that collided with Earth in its infancy may have left 2 gigantic portions of itself deep within Earth's core, scientists theorize in a new study. According to the team led by Arizona State University geodynamics researcher Yuan, the vanished planet known as Thea not only embedded some of itself in the Earth, but likely also helped form the moon. The team presented a paper detailing the theory earlier this month at 52 Lunar Planetary Science Conference 2021. Oh, in DC, they're going underground and stuff like that and doing all these. So let's take you into this right here. I'm going to take myself over. What does it say? Thea, member of the Titans. In the frieze of the great altar of Pergamon, Berlin, the goddess who fights Helios back is conjectured to be Thea. And so there's the other names right there. So esoterically, they use some Greek goddess and say, oh, well, there's something else in the earth. And then they name it after that. Very interesting, right, that they do that. I appreciate that super chat there. And I'm going to read that in just a second. But here's what's happening. If you go to what's happening in DC, I'm going to move me over here. This was just recent. DC Water just finished digging a 5-mile tunnel 100 feet below the city. So a 5-mile tunnel 100 feet below the city is what they're building. And we're going to show you a few more images of this because they will not release any footage or video footage at all, just photos. And it's called Chris. It's a part of, the Boring Company. So obviously Elon Musk, I think, is a part of this. It says Chris is a massive tunnel. Sorry for all the buffering. A boring machine longer than a football field that simultaneously digs the tunnel and constructs its concrete walls 100 feet below the ground. The tunnel runs underneath metro tunnels and everything else humans have built underground, and it's wider than the metro tunnel too. It says this is an amazing accomplishment. DC Water Clean Rivers Project. The project aims to build 18 miles of such tunnels capturing sewage, they said. But we'll show you a little bit more imagery of what's going on. Because this is in DC, where they basically have everything happening right under the swamp. Massive tunneling machine has done its job digging below the district. It's a monumental milestone for us, said Carlton Ray, Vice President of Clean Water Project for DC River. Now this is what it's being dubbed as, right? So first off, it's being dubbed as, well, it's all about the water. It's all about that. When there's so many massive underground tunnels and secretive things going on, do you really believe that that's all that they're doing? Here's an image of one of the things that they're showing here. The machine named Chris dug its way 5 miles from the RFK Stadium up to Rhode Island Avenue and then over the 6 arch streets of Northwest. And so I think this is the machine right here. The new section of tunnel, which is 100 to 160 feet below ground, that is the inner earth, and more than 20 feet wide will capture sewage overflows that would otherwise go into Anacostia River. Now, it's a reason why they don't have to even have blackouts, any of these situations happening. And because they're finding energy in the earth, and it's not just the United States. Obviously, the Chinese went underwater as well, and they went a while back, not too long ago, actually just a while back, like a year back, not even that long ago. Chinese submarine sends first live video back from the bottom of Mariana Trench. And so if you go into this, a 58-second clip, which they go underwater in the clip, and then I'm gonna tell you what they're finding, because they're finding new forms, all types of forms of life in the water as they dive deep into it. And then it's when volcanoes erupt, they're also saying that, well, the energy from a volcano could power entire cities for over 20 hours. So I'll take you into that here in just a few. And obviously they've been talking about, oh, Elon Musk, I'm gonna get out of we're going to space with my little car, and I show you my little video, and I'm flying in the atmosphere, and I'm not really there, but I'm trying to dig underground because that's where I'm trying to go. It's like common sense, though, if you just think about what's going on. Why would Bill Snakes, why would Elon Microchip Musk be still here in front of you on TV? If they had this technology, if they really could leave, they would be gone. Why would they still be here? That's the question people need to ask. And you can believe whatever you want to believe. I don't care. You got the free will to believe. I'm just saying, wouldn't they be holograms on TV by now? Wouldn't Elon Musk and all these people be holograms on TV? They wouldn't be basically right in front of you? But I mean, I guess people don't think about that. So study unveils large microbial ecosystems living deep within the earth. Powerful volcanic eruptions and continental collisions are not things generally related to conditions fit for life. And they're gonna talk about what's all in the earth. And you think it gets mysterious, but once they tell you a little bit more, then you start to see that, oh, well, it's life down there. Yeah, it's life down there. And so as the battle escalates, we have to go into the form of thinking that we need to discover where the resources is at and how they're going to try to shift the world, since they're on the top and the surface doing all this devastating destruction. All we need to know is a couple key things to figure out where this all is going, the hollow earth agenda. But a new study by Associate Professor of Microbiology Karen Lloyd from University of Tennessee, Knoxville, unraveled a huge microbial ecosystem thriving deep inside the earth and powered by chemicals generated during such tectonic cataclysms. During such collisions, continental and oceanic plates with each other, one plate is pushed down or subducted into the mantle, which is a subduction zone. Obviously, you go down in, and so when people collapse and stuff and sinkholes happen, where do they go? They never come back. It's like, oh, Johnny fell in the lake and we just never seen him again. Or, oh, Claire fell in the lake or they just fell down in a big subduction zone. Are they dead? Are they alive? You don't know. Because it's giant holes in the earth. And then Bill Gates, he got some technology. I showed you the patent of it in the sea where they can try to just suck you down in there. And who knows what all is happening in those, wormholes that's in the earth. Lots is happening. But I guess when water go down there, that's where it's going. It's going to the inner earth. And a lot of the resources is down there and a lot of different creatures and species that we talked about before. This is a central process through which chemical elements are shifted between the surface and interior of Earth and ultimately recycled back to the surface. Subduction zones are fascinating environments. They produce volcanic mountains and serve as portals for carbon moving between the interior and exterior of the Earth. Basically saying that you can breathe down there. Now, I know it's some toxic air, but not all of them are toxic areas. Also, and then we're going to tell you about the energy and stuff that they can use to power a lot of the world. And you would never have to worry about an EMP, I guess, only when a volcano erupting. But I guess you could store this energy somehow. Deep inside Earth, scientists find weird blobs in mountains taller than Mount Everest. The emerging picture of our planet innards is a complete revolution. But, we told that, you're going to go in there, it's going to be lava, it's an inner core, you're going to die, you're going to get burnt up. That's what we told. And then we it's a circular form. But when the ancient map was shown that the circle was just only the surface, and then you look on the outside and it was lots more land. We live on a hunk of rocks. It says metal that circles in humdrum star. Carl Sagan declared in 1996 in one of the astronomer's last interviews. It's simplistic description of Earth, but for a long time, many scientists will have gone along with it. There is no way to explore our planet's interior directly. The deepest hole ever drilled, Kola Deep borehole in the Russian Arctic, reaches 0.2% the way to the center. So even the best scientific maps didn't look much better than your middle school textbook cartoon showing our outer crust and inner core and thick layer called the mantle in between. Exactly, cartoon, CGI, fake stuff that they've been showing you. But the picture is changing. Researchers such as Barbara Ronaldo, however you say it, at the University of California, Berkeley, are using seismic earthquake waves to scan our planet's innards, much like doctors are using ultrasound to peer inside patients. They are seeing what they're seeing is full of complex detail and not bland mineral hunk, but rich dynamic inner landscape. The mantle appear to be layered like an onion with major transitions, 250 miles, 410 miles down, and 410 miles level. Researchers recently identified tremendous interior mountain range with peaks perhaps even taller than Mount Everest. Recently, we discovered another change about 1,000 kilometers, 600 miles deep. So in DC, they only went 300 miles deep. Maybe they knew that if they went to 400, they knew that they was going to hit that range. And so they only went 300, so they didn't hit that range. So it makes a lot of sense now once you go down the line and start to figure out what's being said here. Now, the other piece of information is there's a massive power station lurking under the ocean. This is what's being reported now. Energy from deep sea volcanoes could power the continental United States, because what they're now finding is that when a volcano erupts, that energy could be used to then power the United States, but only for that specific moment. So with that being said, it pretty much shows you that it's multiple ways they got the energy. You can get wave energy, they got eruption energy they can get, but as they say, a massive power station is lurking under the ocean. It could be symbolic of even bigger things than what we hear. It says, if you could travel to the ocean floor near tectonic plate boundaries, you might see a glow of lava spewing from an erupting deep sea volcano. It would be only the light source around illuminating cracks in the ocean floor and huge ejections of hot fluid with billowing clouds of volcanic rock fragments. Those ejections are called megaplumes, massive columns of hot chemical-rich water with volume that can exceed 40 million Olympic swimming pools, and they are powerful. New research published in Nature Communications suggests that one deep sea eruption could create a megaplume with enough power to freaking juice the continental United States for the duration of the eruption. So basically, after it erupts, and then at that moment, they say, let's say 10 to 20 hours, a volcanic, basically a volcanologist at the University of Leeds, it's a bit like turning massive power station on and then turning it off. So hypothetically, one eruption could supply the energy used during that period. And I would believe they would be able to store that as well. And there's energy all around us. It's just crazy how much stuff pretty much is coming out to be. It's a bit like turning a massive power station on and off. How the discovery was made. To get this finding, Ferguson fellow author Sam Hagler utilized data from 2009 study where researchers in California deployed remotely operated vehicles to the seafloor, which is basically robots, because they got them down there, obviously. These rovers collected a bunch of tephra samples, and it says that all likely came from the same eruption. So basically, we're here just basically the biggest thing, the newest thing was the 300 feet below underground digging that they just did in DC, which is the newest part of them billowing down in. And then the goddess Thea, which they say some alien planet inside of our planet, which somebody said in the comment section, this is the alien agenda and all that stuff that they're trying to push. So I wanted to put this out to give you more detailed information talking about the inner earth, because I feel like we talk so much about just normal news that we don't get involved in the conversation about where things is going, what's happening in the world, what's happening in the elements of what God created, and what is basically coming next, and how much will be decimated on the top before the below sanctuary is created. And the question is, with all the pollution going on, how long until humans really have to really choose and decide how the up surface part is going to determine the outcome of the future? Because really at the point, like we said, ominous scripture said, from the earth you came, to the earth you shall return. What does that mean? But it speaks volumes. Thanks for tuning in. The subscribe button be below. Share the video out. Let people know more information that's basically being unveiled. And we'll have the actual inner earth video form, movie-like situation that I put out just weeks ago before I did my big trip of moving. So thank you all for tuning in. This is a live report. Please share it out and leave your comments in the comment section below. And we'll see more and have more videos and information coming out. Let me know what you want to see next.